What up, everybody? Peace to the nigga nation. I read an article earlier today, and it was in relation to Kanye West and Adidas. Now, evidently, Kanye West has made Adidas like $2 billion in the past couple of years, I imagine. I heard someone make the point that, well, when Jordan, for his Jordans, he gets such and such amount for, I guess that's a royalty for, the Jumpman or what have you. And it was a significantly less than the amount that Kanye gets for, I guess, for his branding. And they were saying that, and I guess this was some way to point out that Jordan accepted this without, being such of a ruckus. Meanwhile, Kanye is getting all this, and he's still talking all this discontentment. I noticed, and I've mentioned before, that there seems to be a targeted media. I understand that, there is the need and the desire to report the news on celebrities and public figures. But when you get to the point where it's like every headline or thought piece, or, even whether you might have the video editorials. I think I saw something on the Young Turks where it was a black male and a white female, a Caucasian female, blonde-haired lady. They were discussing the extra clips of the Tucker Carlson interview that Kanye had done, where he was speaking on I think the one, I'm gonna just go with the one part that just sticks out, where he said something about kinetic energy. He had a vision from God, or he had heard voice from God that spoke about kinetic energy, where there's free energy and people live in a Jim Jones, what's happening, brother? Good to see you, my friend. Where people have free energy per se. The energy is kinetic, and people live within a certain, I guess, communal equality. I don't know what to say. It kind of sounds, as I read it, I guess if considering that they say that Kanye is left wing, it kind of sounds sort of like a communistic or socialistic type of society, where the energy is, provided, and and the societies are there's basically a room for a general society. But that, I'm getting too far from where I was saying, because I guess it's not too far, because these are the things that come from the mind of one person. Not only is he a popular producer and artist, and he makes a lot of music, he knows exactly what he's doing. I mean, I heard the point that was made that Kanye West, that Kanye West has to decide whether if he has a mental disorder or not, a mental debilitation or not. He has to play like he does, even if he doesn't, and even when you also consider the fact that most of us considering the conditions and situations and circumstances that we just have along the course of us regularly living, that we should be able to understand that we all have a tendency to have issues with mental health. And they said we went crazy after they gave him those psych meds. That's believable. That kind of, I think about Charleston White, when they said that when he was protecting the family of Dacian Steptoe, a kid from his neighborhood from Fort Worth, that had shot an officer. They killed an officer, and they in turn they tortured and killed him. So they were trying to prevent the family from having a funeral. They were trying to get the family all kind of issues and problems, because the officer that Dacian had killed was their official white guy, whatever. So Charleston was down there protecting their home. He went down there and taking it upon himself to protect his home. The man Mr. Charleston, homicidal, with suicidal tendency. I forgot this. However he said, where he says, that no, let me get past that. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that he went down and the police had kidnapped him and committed him, and he had to take this medication. But he said he had to. He kept on saying that he had to keep on smoking some good ass weed in order to get that white man's dope out of the system. Nah, Mr. Charleston wants to be I shouldn't say that. I can't speak for Mr. Charleston. Charleston gonna do what he do, man. I don't from the very beginning. You can't even tell them just basic shit like turn on the Snapchat or whatever. Not the Snapchat, the thing in the money where they connect the money on YouTube. You can't. A man gonna stand on his own principle, and he knows whichever direction he wants to go in his life. He knows his value. He knows what he needs to do in order to protect himself and protect his legacy and his lineage, his family. He's a man. A lot of this shit is this YouTube shit, this online shit, man. Some of them are kids, some of them are like I said, mentally disturbed. I'm getting off of Kanye, but some of these folks are mentally disturbed. So it's like, well, how do you discern that? He has a load of guns. He has all kinds of security and things of that nature. Mr. Charleston makes the choices that he wants to make because that's what he wants to do, But to get back to Yeezy, man, Yeezy has established its value in multiple avenues, and it just not only in the shoes and the apparel and the music. He made an attempt to build some type of affordable housing or housing for the homeless in California. You may remember that, but the code compliance came and forced him to tear that down. He attempting to open a school of performing arts, and then they show pictures of the school. Oh, it looks like it's in the garage, whatever. These are the things that, and it kills me how these are the same types of things. We talk about black economic empowerment. We got to be able to school our own kids. Kanye is doing it in the name of doing it in the spirit of that, but he can't flat out do that. But what difference does it make if he does that? If we have African American, black people of colors, Negro and nigger folks that be out here just aiding in the assailment of the man's character. You don't necessarily. So what? Slavery is a choice. A lot of you heard the first part, but you didn't understand that what he meant is a mental slavery. The mental slavery. None of us are in the chains and bondage and the greater confinement that was the slavery of our ancestors. Well, I can't speak for all of our ancestors, just our own. So we can't necessarily say that we can't necessarily say that we're offended and we're so hurt. He said slave. How dare he said Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves. Harriet Tubman did write the Emancipation Proclamation and get in front of the people as president and freed the slaves by paper. They don't, Harriet Tubman, when you think about it, actually, Harriet Tubman freed some slaves. But she didn't free these slaves. But it's all in the way you listen to things. I guess sometimes people get lost in the emotions of the comments, other things that it goes back to Charleston. Charleston says things and in a way, and it's purposefully. It's so on purpose. The motherfucker that touch that is and I hope first of all, shall it never pass. But if so, it does happen to pass. I hope that they are bold enough, because this man has been bold with his words. I hope that they are bold enough, just like Kanye. I hope they are bold enough to show their faces. Don't be a coward. When in the midst of you, this is something that affected you. These words affected you so much that you want to crash out, shout out to T.I. that you want to crash out over them. Fucking with a one-eyed, middle-aged man of small stature. And I don't know disrespect to Charles. I just say it what it is. And also they say that Kanye, he's a nerd. Once upon a time he was a safe Negro. I saw a video on Facebook just a minute ago where he was like in the back of, I guess, in the back of a luxury sedan, whatever, and it was a fashion designer eating ribs and French fries. Kanye was holding a man or woman's plate for him, so that was supposed to be some sign that Kanye is a servant. Most of us clock in every day to hold master plate. So it's funny. It's funny. It's just funny to me how these things that he says, and even in regards to his relationship with his wife and his children, for the most part, if you was a regular person, if you're going through a situation of divorce with your wife and situation with custody of your kids and how your kids are being raised and maintained, do you think that you would want? How many people do you think you would want in your life interfering in that? How many people do you think that is their business? I stand with Kanye West. I don't have you look at Kanye West as an idol. I look at the actions of Kanye West. Kanye West to me is a visionary. And that's what a lot of the African American, Black, Negro folks seem to have. I won't even say that we lack. I think that what happens is that we oftentimes get bought out by massa. We go and get an empty plate to hold for massa. We make sure that massa gets its food, gets fed. Because we support it through our actions and our ingenuity and our creativity. So it's like, well, I wish that I did have the problem that if someone said offensive, that something being said offensive about my particular kind, my group or my race or my religion, was the fact that I'm known to be stingy with money, but I do have a lot of money. That I am known to be frugal. I'm known to be kind of what's a good word to use that might be safe for me? Shrewd in my businessmanship. But man, I'm just saying though, man, Kanye, they put this shit in the media, and these articles and whatever press releases or whatever. They go on to the blogs. They reach the comment section. Then you have those comment sections where we have a few people might feel this way, a few people might feel the other way. But if the narrative is meant to dissuade the popular opinion of a particular individual, and that goes back to how I say they oftentimes pick an individual, a black male for the most part. And they go about a campaign, whether or not it's justified or unjustified, but it's just so calculated in the way they do it. They go about utilizing the comment sections and the Twitter Spaces and the Instagrams and YouTube, Facebooks, and they put these comment bots in there, and they facilitate the narrative that must be put upon that Kanye West is mentally disabled. He has a mental problem, and also that he's anti-black. The nigga who is getting the most public and outrageous nigga treatment in most recent history is anti-black. It just amazes me, man. I'm just saying. But anyway, I was sitting in the Family Dollar parking lot. They had that $5 off on Saturdays coupon, and I tend to use it every Saturday to buy these products from Family Dollar. So I'm going to go in there and take care of that. But I just, it's just a little Nigga Nation news brief, I guess, or editorial per se. Just had a few thoughts about it. Why is it that we can't tend to I don't know. I mean, and I said on my Facebook, I said once upon a time there used to be like whenever Master bought one of us upon the chopping block or the auctioning block or whatnot, not the auctioning block, but the chopping block. to either get your lashes or whatever. Whether or not we knew that person was dead wrong or innocent, even if we did think that, even if we did know in our heart they was dead wrong, we didn't say nothing. We was silent. I don't know, master. I can't speak on that, master. But every time master gives most of y'all African American, Negro, colored folks a chance to speak against another African American, black, Negro, people, colored, Negro, nigger folk, you take every opportunity to do it. But just like I said about that one group that you can't speak on, that the group in which you cannot speak upon, the ones who have hats that wear hats that are considerably smaller than mine without a brim. When you get to speaking on them, you can even speak a little bit. You can even talk a little bit tougher than talk to the Englishmen, than you can to them. Now and they get into the point where you can't do it to the Asians. They tried it. It's so xenophobic, and now that we have folks that have gone about the adoption of putting distinctions. Well, it's all right to have a distinction. There are places for distinctions. You go amongst your own particular group. You have a particular group, but within groups you have kinds of people, and there are kinds of people that can go from group. You might be. I might be a nigga kind. I might be a nigga, but there might be a kind of should I just say a kind of Hispanic, Puerto Rican. There might be a Puerto Rican that has my kind of spirit, that has my kind of if you follow what I'm saying. But what it is that they even try to separate with negative terms such as tether and I oh man, all right, that's a whole nother thing, man. But Kanye West, man, why don't we just adopt the either we support or we just let it be? Because at the end of the day, what a nigga say ain't got shit to do with what them people gonna do. They just like to make you think that if you holler loud enough, if you go out and do a march and a protest, that they paying the goddamn attention to you. Hey, we've been doing it. That's been going on since before the 60s. Yeah, we still actually from some points of view, we've actually decreased in status as a group, as a population. Because like I said, we have different groups of a population, different kinds. We, as a whole entire population group, we've diminished. We've just let it die. Just let it be. Just let it be. I mean, I watch the man on how creative he is. He has so many great ideas. Even when he went to, that's the only nigga I know that went to the White House and said free Larry Hoover to the president. His old lady was helping free niggas. His ex-wife, his soon-to-be ex-wife. He had to get Trump out. Master Trump, fuck all that shit, man. But that's another thing they use. I mean, it's like they're telling they fundamentally try to tell the melanated people, the black people, how to think and how to speak about the things that they tell you. They'll tell you something, but they tell you this is the way you're allowed to speak about it. You can't be critical in your thinking of a particular thing. This man said, okay, he had a vision from God that there could be kinetic energy and it would be accessible to the people, blah, blah, blah. This lady on the Young Turks was like saying, well, he's crazy. You know what it is when you hear a voice from God? It means you're crazy. So many folks have said that when the spirit they hear a spirit. I had a vision from God. I heard a voice from God that prompted me to do something. And they say this in their biographies and their TED talks and things like that. But then when Kanye says on the Tucker Carlson interview, just because they cut it out, that means he's crazy. He's still great. I mean, anybody that can lay down over $1 billion. If he ain't great today, he can go about if he ain't great at what time is it? If he ain't great at 7:15, by 7:25, he gonna have all the things he need to be just fine. They plan on us, and they plan on us, but some of us are, well, large, too many of us are not bright enough to see it. And it is what it is. But with that being said, man, I appreciate Jim Jones came through, Sister Cat came through. Who else came through here? But Nancy, hey Nancy, how you doing? How you doing, Nancy? I ain't seen Nancy in a minute. I thought Nancy might be mad at me, but yeah, it's good. It's good to see you all in the chat. Peace and love to y'all. You know, I don't know why I said Nancy might be mad at me, but I guess I might be getting I guess I get a little bit guidance over my emotion. I think I said hi to her in the chat one day and she didn't respond. But peace and love, y'all. Nigga Nation or nothing. That too.